All right, we are live all over the planet. It's Pat Hilton and Casey Huff giving you the REI industry update with what's really going down in real estate and how you can move more deals in 2025. Casey Huff, what's going on, bro?
Yo, what's up?
Chilling, man. Chilling. So you guys were able to, we made a whole episode and we were slapping investor lift around a little bit, which, by the way, good for the industry because you were like not going to use it at all. And then you did start using it and you were able to move the deal, even though somebody named Phil tried to snake it. So break down how the deal worked, how the whole process went through, and break it down for people.
Yeah, so we locked up a property here in Irving, Texas, and we had the ability to either assign it and
Here, jiggle your jiggler real quick. It always does that at the beginning, and then it's fine. Give it a little jiggle-a-roo.
Better?
Yeah, it's a little better.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know.
You're good.
So we locked the deal up here in Irving, Texas, and had a big enough spread to where, we could wholesale it and make X or fix and flip it and make Y. So just based on velocity, we figured we'd go ahead and try and assign it. And, we have access to investor lift, but we've never really tried to move anything on it. So we figured, hey, why not? Let's use this as an opportunity to do so. And the main reason why I don't like wholesaling was the exact thing that happened. We posted that deal, and then that next morning, our seller's being contacted by some knucklehead named Philip, who then started to, deep prospect and try to get a hold of our seller, and, just really put a bad taste in the seller's mouth, our mouth. So we took it off of investor lift and just kind of did it the old school traditional way. And we're still assigning it, for what we wanted, and everybody's happy. So, there's the easy button that opens you up to some risk, or there's the old school tried and true method, that we did to where you can really try to control the entire transaction.
Yeah, and that's something that you're really good at that I think that's rare. I think for you, controlling the transaction is like super easy. For other people, they wish that they could. And so I think that's why tools like that can be so beneficial. But I also think that the snakes and the rookies and the newbies, what they don't understand about if you go onto somebody's software like that and you do that, eventually you're going to get weeded out by the entire industry, because then even the freaking MC knows that Philip is an idiot now, because it's not necessarily the software, it's the user.
Yeah. And, shout out to Robert, you connected us right away.
Yep.
And, I had a good, probably 20-30 minute conversation with him, and he's really trying to cut all that crap out in the industry. So, kudos to him and Investor Lift for, trying to do that, but it doesn't neglect, people neglecting the system. So they're always going to try to find a way.
They are.
And so, Robert was like, yo, don't, we make it to where you have to share the address within it. So it's pretty black and white.
Yep.
But, buyers, as all of the wholesalers call themselves, have to click a disclaimer to where if they go around you, you can sue them, Investor Lift can sue them. So, he's really trying to put those protection metrics in place. But
it's still difficult to play the game because
we even had a guy comment on one of the posts that like he'll do a showing, and then after the showing, they sit up front and wait and watch, and these end buyers, will leave, and then they'll circle back and try to go directly to the seller. And so it's just like, the people are just lazy and shady. But, anytime there's money involved, you can fully expect that to happen.
Yeah, and it's so funny because I came in on the other end of the business, and so I learned real estate from watching people try different transactional methods. Like, at the beginning of me coming into the space, I was just the hype man at like Carlos Reyes events, and that was just wholesaling, nationwide wholesaling. And I think that does work for some people. And then it was like, there was like a flip era where like everyone was on TV doing flips. So then there was like this flip era of real estate, and it made it look so sexy and fun. And my buddy Dolmar Cross is still on some zombie house flipping show, and they walk through dumps in Tampa, Florida, and like flip them. And you would think by watching the show that it's so easy and so fun. And bro, it's a freaking nightmare. Those properties are a nightmare. And who knows if they're even turning a profit on a lot of those, because they have to stage it for television, which probably costs way more on rehab. And kudos again to them for even showing people that it's possible. But don't get confused. Business is not what you see on TV. And it's definitely not what you see some of these guys post on Instagram, which is why over time, if you continue to stay in the trenches, people will eventually navigate, and you will become a magnet for the real people doing real deals on social media or off social media because of the no bullshit policy.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's those of us that are in it day in, day out, man, like we know this business is not sexy. Like at the end of the day, it's just another house, it's another coat of paint. It's turning a bad asset into something nice for another family to be able to take advantage of and raise their family in. So at the end of the day, like if you lose sight of that, this business will kind of eat you up and spit you out because like, yeah, you can make great money, you can do a lot of deals, but if your why you're doing this is not right, then yeah, I mean that's why so many people fade out is because they just do it to I guess become famous and make a lot of cash and then go do something else.
Well,
So
I
instead
think
of
that
actually
the idea of real estate to get rich is really, if you even look at the model of real estate, to get rich in real estate takes time. Real estate is like a long-term like wealth building tool. So yes, you can do a lot of transactions and make a lot of money. And I think that that's why wholesaling is so attractive to some people, because that transactional model, if done correctly, can pump out some cash. The problem is the sustainability of any business model relies on the marketplace demand, number one, and number two, the cost to efficiently operate over an extended period of time. And that's usually dependent on who's in the leadership role.
Yeah, and I mean, really the only way to get rich in real estate is through appreciation. So, everybody that's talks about cash flow, like, fuck cash flow. Cash flow, like, is the stupidest thing on earth. Obviously, if rentals are great for tax advantages, but you make money by forcing appreciation. And that's whether you're fixing and flipping or you're going to hold a long time and it's going to appreciate and you make your money when you sell it. So if you have a business that generates opportunities and leads to buy houses, like that is my cash flow. So, I don't need rentals and that whole headache and other side of the business. I honestly don't know if I'll ever willingly try to own a bunch of rentals just because what we do from an acquisition standpoint is like it's 1,000 times easier to find a deal than to manage one for a couple $100 a month.
Yeah, and it's like, dude, again, this is the simplest example I've ever seen comparing real estate to something like business acquisitions, where these guys say, I got all these properties, they're cash flowing properties and X, Y, and Z. For you to have a cash flowing portfolio and like make millions of dollars, it's almost unfathomable. The net profit isn't even there. You'd have to own like massive apartment buildings or something, because the cash flow on, we just had a friend, I can literally pull it up right now and show you. I just saw it. She bought a flower business. I want to show, it's right here. It's a $5.2 million deal. It's a flower business. And the net profit is $850K a year doing flowers. Like it's literally right here on my friend Kyle Mallion's Facebook. I think that real estate is a great model for like what you're doing when you control the deal. Anything that Kyle promotes for a business acquisition, no franchises, nothing that doesn't have 10 years of credentials. Same thing with the way you approach real estate. I need to be able to control the entire transaction, all the marketing, all the inputs and all the outputs, or I can't make a net profit that's worth anything. And the problem with like rentals and stuff is that you're not in control of all these different variables that can bury your net profit. Like a water heater goes out, the roof gets smashed, this happens, that happens, the other thing happens, and now you are not in control of the deal anymore. And I think that maybe in like the 1970s or 80s, that was a profitable model. But I look at one deal or even like one transaction that you control the whole thing of, and you stack those on top of each other. That's a way better business model than owning rentals in 2025, especially with these interest rates and shit.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing. If you're gonna do the rental game right now, you need to be able to acquire right. These people that are just buying properties to cash flow $100-$200, that water heater goes out, any type of issues, right? They're now negative, and it's going to take them, a year or 2 years to break even and hope nothing else goes wrong in vacancies. So, if you are buying a rental, you need to be buying it at the right value to where, right, like you have a lot of equity
right
in the deal. So if you're going for cash flow, so I don't know. That's me personally. So I have some buddies that, that's all they do is rentals, and, power to them. I'd rather build a team to create my cash flow than a rental portfolio.
Nice. Well, yeah, it's just, in my opinion, in 2025, it's a dated approach to making money when you could literally buy one flower business and you're making $820,000 a year. People need to think bigger, and they need to think smarter, because it's like, I'm 42 years old. I'm not going to go around flipping dumps in Fort Worth thinking that I'm going to build some kind of $1 million portfolio. Plus, if you do the math on $1 million, what do you get to keep? And what's the spend? And so I think that the virtual aspect is great because it gives you the ability to find properties faster, but also the way that you guys do it with controlling the entire deal. Well, that inflates your net profit exponentially because you don't have to deal with all the other stuff. So it's no surprise that you have the kind of opinion that you have regarding the entire industry when you haven't had to deal with any of this stuff. And yeah, a lot of people have. And so then they don't even, I think most people, and I said this at the beginning, most people don't operate like you do. So they don't have another option. They have to use that stuff.
Yeah.
They have to compete with those low ball scum baskets that come after your deals. They don't have a choice. And they probably don't even know any better, bro. Unfortunately.
Yeah,
I mean, you do 10 or 15 transactions, good transactions a month in real estate. That's $1 million business right there.
It's multi-seven figures.
Easy.
Yeah, it's very, and it's doable.
That's why people still do it. You can make that $1 million a year doing real estate, but you can't if you're playing the low ball game. So trust me, I love, that's why I love these conversations, because they're real, and no one ever wants to say this stuff because it's like, oh, I don't want to get in trouble. It's like, what? The only way we're going to make the industry better is if we talk about the real stuff. We don't sit around here and smoke cigars and talk about how fucking rich we are. That helps nobody.
Yeah. I saw a video this morning. It's like I'm not rich because my doors open regular. They don't open up. They open regular.
Jeez. So. Yeah, exactly. My buddy Alex loves nice cars, and he sold most of them because he just doesn't care anymore. Mm-hmm. I guess he's owned enough McLarens and Porsches and BMWs that the doors go up that he doesn't even give a shit anymore. He's like, I'm over it. Yeah, I'm going way bigger.
Yeah, no, 100%. So unfortunately, I love cars. So
dude, so do I. I mean, I think it's awesome, and I think that everyone out there, regardless of what industry they're in, has a potential for millions and millions of dollars a year, but they have to do it in a way that fits their business model, not too much focusing on what everybody else is doing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's where I see so many people kind of get in trouble is just um, we talk about direct mail here, and then my DMs blow up with people like, "Oh, how do I do direct mail?
Right.
I'm tired of the systems, direct mails. You make it so easy." I'm like, "Well, I've been doing it consistently for like 3 years, so I'm super dialed in with what does and doesn't work." So,
Right.
results will vary.
Yeah. I mean, it's just one of those things where you got to find what works for you and then duplicate that. And I think so many times people never figure out what works for them because they're so busy trying to do what somebody else does. Now, if
Yeah,
somebody
they
else
don't
has a
give it
proven
time, and
result, that's
they keep
fine.
hopping.
Right. If somebody else has a result and you want to take that approach, dude, fine. Go ahead. But jumping around. And then everybody has these new terms that they come up with. Like there's new terms that come up in real estate that mean the same thing as something else that someone's been doing for 50 years. But people like rename stuff in real estate and then act like they came up with it. It's fucking hilarious.
Yep.
Like I could do a whole comedy skit on how fucking hilarious the whole entire real estate industry is. You know what I mean?
I mean, because that's what sells. That's what puts butts in seats, not the real business. I mean, the day in day out of this is
It's not
boring
pretty, just like anything
as can be.
else.
We had somebody come in on Monday that's helping film, stuff for the company, the software, what I do,
Yep.
and we're just like sitting here, right? We're just shooting the shit because like there's nothing to film, and then it's like this is what I do on a daily basis. I just I put all the butts in the seat to manage
Right.
all of the stuff. So I literally just sit here and wait, for the little fire alarm to go off and handle it, and we're back to waiting. So
Right. Yeah. I think it's one of those things where the waiting game is part of real estate. Transactions can take 3, 4, 6 months, and I think that's what screws people up too. They don't want to wait; they want the money tomorrow. That's not
yeah,
how that business works. And if your pipeline's not full 6 months from now, you're broke again. It's just like my business model. Like I don't think I even sent you a bill till after I already filmed you, produced stuff, and sent you videos, right?
I believe so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, dude, we want to make sure that we film people, get them set up, make an agreement, have the value. Here's what it looks like. And then we log into your stuff and we post it. Because I think that agencies have given people like me such a bad name, just like in real estate. The snakes have given good wholesalers such a bad name because they take people's money and they don't give you anything. They're like, oh, well,
Oh
we
yeah.
ran all these ads and the freaking ROAS. It's like, dude, what? Why don't we post some stuff for a while? Get some stuff up on the internet so people can kind of start to know who you are and then come out with an offer or a landing page or a way to do deals with people as we go. But I think that real estate isn't one of those things that you sell a product. The product is the house. And so you're selling yourself to people that have deals or homes as a person that can help them as either a JV person.
You're selling a solution.
Yeah. And I think people overlook that and they're trying to market real estate like it's some kind of product, and it's not. The product is the property, not the coach. It's the product is the customer and the solution, not your coach.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's just,
I think,
Yeah.
and again, and real
It's a
estate
dumb-
like
it-
made me. Real
Yeah.
estate like made me, and there's great coaches out there. But it's just so interesting to me how people can't pick a category or they bounce all around or they act like it's so easy. I mean, maybe we should just get cigars from now on and sit on my front porch and, smoke cigars and we'll spend, the $30K that we should be putting into like marketing or building our studios out or cameras on a Rolex so that we can look like we've got a successful business.
Yeah. I mean, that's, I guess looking the parts just as important as actually doing it. So it works for some of the gurus, right? So I think half of Arizona was built off of that business model.
Yeah, probably, dude. I mean, and again, I think that's a prime example of people believe in the hype. There's a lot of people out there in Arizona that do good deals. Like Sean Terry educated like practically the whole game out there. And that's where Carlos Reyes learned the game from. He educated a lot of people. And then you found these like rogue splinters. These like splinter cells. They don't want to give anybody any props on who trained them or helped them or whatever, because they think that they're like this innovator that figured out how to flip a contract when people have been doing it for 50 freaking years.
Yeah. No, I mean, wholesaling's been around forever.
It's just so ridiculous. It's like, let's get down to the nitty gritty here and figure out how we can help each other do deals, because the ego shit and the like, who wants to be a famous real estate investor anyway? You know what I mean?
People, you know, it all goes back to your why. You know, you're chasing the wrong thing. So you're not there to help the people the reason you're doing a deal is to help somebody, right?
Well,
That's the reason why they're selling to an investor in the first place.
Yeah.
You know, they're wanting to line their pockets and build this brand and this image of themselves, you know, that I guess the younger generation, you know, will buy into their course to fill seats. So it's like it's just a big, you know, trick and pony show. I mean, it's ridiculous. So
dude, it's
you
funny.
know, you're in a lot of industries, right? You speak for a lot of different, like, is real estate the only one like this?
Yeah. Yeah, real estate is the only place where friends kick each other in the dick when they're not looking. I've never seen anything like it. But on the other side of it, I've never seen another industry where people go to bat for the good people like real estate. So it's like it's both extremes. Like real estate people that are good are the most loyal friends. They're the most loyal customers. They're the most loyal people. They help you improve. They get better. You get better. They improve. You improve. But then on the other side of it, there's so many snakes out there. I don't know what they even think that this is. And I think they just think it's too easy. They want to play. Here's what it is. There's a lot of people that want to play real estate. And then there's the people that do real estate. That's what it is. They want to play real estate. Like these guys, they want to play content creation. Like I got my chains on and I got my shirt off and I'm lifting in Miami and I got my mastermind at my house. If I ever get on a video with chains on and no shirt and do my social authority live in the living room, please smack me across the freaking face.
I think you should do it just for click.
Please knock me out. Just knock me out. Take the keys to the house, sell the place because I've sold out.
I mean, you know, once you say, you know, you have those that play real estate and those that do real estate. So, I mean, going to these meetups, right? 95% there play real estate. They're looking for their first deal. I had a gentleman come up to me. He's like, "Hey, I'm an attorney. I'm just looking to do deals. I'm wanting to build a rental portfolio down here." Cool. I send him a deal right there. Got one. Boom. Next day, he's like, "Yeah, you know, I really can't buy anything right now because, you know, I got one rehab going." And I'm like, "Why'd you waste my time yesterday?" Like, you know, like,
right. Yeah.
So,
but there's no point in wasting your time either. I think that, again, and here's where, again, real estate people, the good ones, like RJ does those calls all day, every day. He likes to cold call for some reason. He's fucking crazy, but he moves quick. If you aren't his deal, on to the next one. You're not his deal, on to the next one. And these are probably, like you said, qualified leads. You're not the person, on to the next one. You're not the person, but he doesn't sit around and stroke it and try to force it to work. He doesn't play like a little game. Like this is, nope. I'm on the phone.
It's a numbers
8
game.
hours a day.
Yeah.
There's nothing pretty about it.
So that would be my thing too.
Being the
with
editor
RJ,
for
right?
that. Imagine being the editor for that.
Does RJ just only wholesale, or does he do like novations and subject to and all that stuff? So like, when he's sitting there just churning through offers, right? Is he just making? Is his offers just for one strategy?
No, he does use multiple exit strategies, but he does focus on the wholesale because I know that the transaction is what he's looking for at the end of the day. And
Yeah.
the quicker he can get to that, the quicker he gets paid, the quicker the
So
team
what I'm
gets
so,
paid, and the
so
more
where
they
I'm
can
going
do.
is probably 80 to 90% of the offers that he makes is one solution, is based off of one solution, is to wholesale it, not all the other crap.
He's playing that one channel. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
his winning lane.
That's the key to to doing this business is finding one channel and just digging your heels in until you perfect it and get great at it. I mean, I think just yesterday, no, or last week, Novation came out of my mouth to say, "Hey, that would be good for one of those Novation thingies." And they're like, "Well, how do we do that?" I'm like, I don't really care. It's not our business model. Just flip it to the brokerage, let the agent handle it, and on to the next one.
Dude, it's awesome. And I mean, there's so many ways to do this, and there's so many ways that work, but I think that the quickest way is probably what you're doing, controlling the deal. And then again, there's a lot of people that have different ways to get their hands on the property or the paperwork and stuff too, I got friends that they buy the deed first, and then they go and they own the property and sell it. I still don't understand it. They buy the deed, and then the deed gives them the ability to go in and negotiate and own the property and then flip it.
Yeah, so I know man, there's so many ways, but
but the problem is I should be able to explain that extremely simple in 30 seconds, just like I can say, hey, listen, you call a seller, you get it under contract, and then you sell it to an end buyer. That's a wholesale. Or you buy the property at X price, you fix it up, and you flip it for a higher price. That's flipping. But if you start to get through terminology and you can't explain it,
so that right there is you just buy a majority ownership and you go sue the minority ownership and get them to either pay you how much you paid the majority or to sign out their minority part.
And then you sell it to somebody else.
And then you flip it into, what you're doing right there is just cleaning up title.
Right.
So that's all that is. That's, you're cleaning up messy title deals.
Well, you got to pay me $50,000 to learn that method though, Casey.
Yeah. What's your credit card number?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we don't even need the expiration date. It's just,
I'll buy the first chain for you.
It's so ridiculous because there's a video on how to do that for free and somewhere, and you could probably do it within certain types of deals. But like you said, if you're going to do that, if you're going to be the deed guy, then dude, focus on that and become the best at that.
Yeah, there's a handful in our market here that do that because we come across their memorandums and stuff like that, that they did buy out the majority. And whenever we go do title work, it pops, right? That, oh, well, so-and-so's already bought your rights. You have no rights to the property.
Right.
So get some water.
Yeah. I mean, it's just
there's a handful here that do nothing but that.
Yeah. And that's fine. And I think that, again, going through some of these strategies and explaining what they are might help people understand what they actually want to do. Because right now in 2025, I think flipping works for some, but you don't want to get stuck holding the bag. That's the only thing. If I was an investor and a real estate investor and this was my livelihood, I'd be a little bit concerned about flipping properties because then I got to hold the bag. But you do flip sometimes and they're super profitable. Again, I'm inexperienced. Of course, I'm going to be scared of that.
Yeah. I mean, it all goes down to the acquisition. I mean, if you acquire the property right, AKA you underwrite the deal, we have videos on how we underwrite. So if you underwrite it properly and let's say the market does shift, right? Hopefully we can get out of it and break even. Or if you buy a bad deal, the only way out of them is time. And so you end up seller financing them, putting a 10 to 15-year note on them, and you just got to wait.
Right.
So, I mean, that's really the only way out of a bad deal.
Yeah, I mean, it's just there's going to be good deals and there's going to be bad deals too. And if you're borrowing money to do a deal, the best thing that you can do is just take it in the freaking jaw if you lose money on the deal, because paying back your lender is probably going to be way more important than your net profit, because without other people's money, you're not going to be able to grow your real estate business anyway.
Correct. Other people's money is the key to being able to scale. And yeah, I mean, we take some L's. We take
Everybody
some,
does, dude.
yeah, yeah.
Dude,
I mean, if you're,
that's why I don't even mind making fun of the dude from Miami that puts chains on and acts like a freaking hooligan, because I went all the way out to LA one time for an event, paid for all my own stuff, introduced this knucklehead, and then they didn't even pay me or pay for my flight or Ubers or anything. They didn't even contact me back. And I was out there for like 2 straight days for these people. Listen, don't get caught up in this hype bullshit on the internet of who's rich and who's doing it and who isn't, because most of those guys are acting like that because they're not doing shit. And they have to try and convince you that they're more successful than they really are. And some of them, you might be in great shape. You might be all decked out. But dude, come on, man.
yeah.
It's ridiculous.
You're backstages, as you put it. I'm backstage, I know.
Yeah, I'm backstage, dude. I've seen all these knuckleheads. I've heard all the stuff they say about you people in the audience when you're not looking, and how dumb you are, and this and that and the other shit, and how to sell you, and how to find your emotional pain points. It's just, don't need to use any of that, is because I just stay in my lane and focus on just helping people out, and I'm going to get mine anyway. And that's exactly what you guys are doing with the real estate agency that you guys are doing. You know, you're giving people an opportunity to go out there and make money that normally wouldn't even have a shot in real estate.
Yeah, and we're teaching them the right way how to do it. So not only are we providing opportunities, we're teaching them how to find the opportunities themselves. So, you know, it's that old analogy. Not only are we giving them a fish to feed them, but we're also teaching them how to fish.
Right.
Right. And that's what's important, is if, you know, something were to happen and real estate go belly up, right? Like, we'll be right back where we are much faster, because we know how to do it. And, and we've taught everybody else how we've done it as well. So, you know, it kind of protects everybody.
Yeah, dude, it's all about doing the right. Like, I had a guy right here on the phone. That's why I was texting you. He was like, hey, I prefer this export setting. I'm like, all right, well, let's add you to the group with the editors and make sure your export setting's right. You know, I don't have to stress out about it, because I know that we're going to make sure that that person's taken care of. It's like they can see them on the internet. Hey, can you just add me to the WhatsApp group? He knows my phone's right here. If you can, like Robert took your call right away on the day you had an issue with Investor Lift. He handled your issue with Investor Lift that day. You guys still got the deal done anyway. How much more likely are you, who is not really a third-party software user, to recommend them and to use them in the future? Increase it way more by being a good representative of the company.
No, 100%.
Because you are not a third-party app person.
No.
But I still think that that's going to benefit you long-term, especially as they continue to clean up. I also think, and again, RJ would slap me for this one, but do you think some regulations need to be put in place? Doesn't mean that you need to say wholesaling or the X, Y, and Z or this and that should be illegal, but should there be some regulations in place to keep those snakes, add like an extra step so that they're inoperable? The snakes can't make it anymore. Or is that too big of a double-edged sword?
I don't really think it matters if there's regulations or not, because if you're an investor and you're somewhat good at this business, you're savvy to solving problems. And so if a regulation pops in, right, then like there's no wholesaling allowed in shit, I don't even know. Like,
right.
I don't know. There's some states where you can't wholesale. That's how much I know, right? I do this all day, every day, and I don't even know the states you can't wholesale in.
Well, so you're not in them.
You just double close. What does that mean?
That's what I was going to say. Even I know that.
Yeah.
So you pay for the property up front so that you own it, and then like 5 minutes later you assign it to the end buyer, right?
Correct.
Even the MC knows that. So if
the only thing it cost you is those closing fees on your close, but these other big box dispo companies, you know, we're not going to say who they are because we buy a lot of deals from them and I don't want to make them mad. They charge that double close fee to the end buyer. So like this one deal in Irving, that's what we were like, hey, do we need to
so
double
you make
close?
it back.
No, it doesn't come out of your assignment fee.
Oh, I understand. Okay, so it's like the Walmart rollover.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, that happened with me when I bought the house. Like I paid for something, but then it got rolled into, it came out of my closing costs. So I still paid it, but like it didn't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Instead of X, like it was applied.
Yeah. So pretty much A to B, you're B, B to C. C is the end buyer.
Yes.
Right. So C pays closing costs for B to C and A to B.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Dude, everybody wins. Yeah, you can't ban wholesaling or people will double close. Somebody posted a video about that the other day, and that was my comment. Like, dude, even the MC knows that. Like, the freaking hype man knows that. You guys are crazy.
Yeah, and I think some are like, you got to have a real estate agent to represent now on all deals. Man,
anybody could sign off on that. You could get anybody with a certificate to be like,
some
stamp.
Agents are so hungry they'll do anything for $100, right? So like, hey, I just need you to
like
sign
Pat
off
with the guitar.
Yeah.
Just give me a couple Jamesons and a pizza, and I'll come play. I'll sign off on your assignment fee.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's what I'm saying. Like regulations, it don't matter. It's all fluff.
Yeah, so. I thought the same thing. And even with regulations, like criminals gonna crime, bro. Stealers gonna steal. Like those little snakes will find a way. They're already not playing by the rules. Like, do you think adding more rules is gonna stop them and make them play by the rules? No, dude. It's just gonna make them more emboldened to break it even harder.
Mm-hmm.
So
100%.
Moral of the story is quit looking for the short-term solutions. The key to this whole thing is this is going to take time. The second you understand that it's going to take time for you to do anything in life is the second that you are going to be way ahead of everybody else. That's the whole game. Like, dude, Dan Martell, 4 years ago, his Instagram page, it was not what it is today when I was introducing him on stage. Now, he's like the biggest guy on the platform. But he was posting every day for freaking years. I remember seeing him and being like, dude, how are you not just like freaking killing it? He's like, dude, I'm killing it. It's just social media is social media. I'm like, that is true. He wasn't getting his props yet. And hey, that was probably good because honestly, if it would have happened like really, really fast for him, he probably wouldn't be so good.
Probably he wouldn't have been ready for it.
And he wouldn't be as good as he is now. So anyway, I love it. Him and his wife are awesome. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, quit looking for the short-term solutions. Put in the game, be the trusted person that people can do good business with. Not every deal is going to go you and your client's way, but try to be the person that advocates for, hey, let's find the solution and win on the next one. If you want to get into real estate, you want to get started with real estate, Casey and his team at Ambition X can help you become a real estate agent quickly. And if you follow him and Nathan Bauer as his partner, you'll see every day, every other day, Nathan is posting about all these deals that they're doing, and that one of those deals could be you. So there are ways to get out there and do deals. And, even Casey's given a couple of the old third-party apps a little shot there. So it's beautiful to see. So
lots of ways.
Rock and roll, folks. Get out there and do some deals. If you need any help, hit us up, and we'll see you on the next one.
Peace.
Oh, yeah. So smooth.